You know, drawing hands is one of those things that's so hard to do that sometimes I just cannot cheat it, you know? I draw them out of bounds, behind the character, nowhere to be seen. And worst of all, I've traced them sometimes, you know? Don't tell anybody, okay? But throughout the years, I've figured out a system that will make things a lot simpler for you, and that's by breaking the hands down into simple shapes. Let me show you what I mean. So I do this by simplifying the hand into three different shapes, not including the fingers. We'll get into that later. The first one is this big tapered square. The second and third section is these two triangles on the side. One small one and one noticeably big one. The big one sits lower on the square, and it's also noticeably thicker. This is where the thumb will sit, and the small one is where the pinky will be placed. Once you got this construction, all you gotta do is draw in your sausages. I mean your fingers. Note that every finger has 3 folds, but I'm only drawing 2 here. Actually, they have 4 folds, but I'll get more into that a bit later. Let's do that again, this time without tracing. Earlier, I said there were 3 tiers on every finger except for the thumb, but I'm only drawing 2 here because you don't really get much motion on the 3rd fold. So no need to indicate it if you're drawing this pose. I like to draw the 2 middle fingers in a big shape like this and just draw a dividing line in the middle. Next, the pinky finger attaches to the smaller triangle. From here, just draw the rest of the fingers. And don't forget about the thumb. It just sticks out to the side like this. Next, let's get in depth on how I draw the fingers. So I basically just draw 2 folds here. So remember, this is not exactly a cylinder. It's based off a cylinder, but you have to curve the top a little bit like this, following the bone structure of your finger. And be careful not to exaggerate that curve, otherwise it will look ridiculous. So there are situations where you have to draw 3 folds when the finger is bent a little bit more. The same principle applies here. Just draw the curved cylinders like so, and you should be fine. Okay, so now that we know how to draw a basic hand, let's do that again, this time with a side profile. This time, because we're drawing it sideways, there will be a lot of details that will be missing because it's being blocked by the angle of the drawing. But we'll just draw what we can't see and imagine the things that we can't. Now notice that I'm still drawing the same shapes here, but because the hand is sideways, it's a little bit thinner. The sausages, the fingers, will follow the same principle with a more curved cylinder like this. Notice that the furthest finger, the pinky finger, is not being drawn in full because it's being blocked by the thumb here as well as the angle of the hand itself. So I said earlier that there were 4 folds on the fingers, right? But you can only see 3 somehow. There are 3 folds on every finger except for the thumb that has 2. But the 4th one is actually invisible and it's located right there, right on the palm, behind the knuckles, okay? And the reason why I know that is because when you try to bend your fingers, the bend actually starts right there. It's almost impossible to start the bend on the first visible fold, okay? So I would consider that the 4th fold of the finger, right behind the knuckles. The knuckle bones is actually sticking out in front of your palms too. So you gotta take that into account when you're trying to draw a gesture. Let's do one more variation, this time in a different perspective. I really like this angle because unlike the side profile, we can see everything. Basically the same principle applies, just be sure to account for the angle here. There will be some details that will be missing. So let's just repeat that process, but this time, let's create different angles and different poses for the fingers. And you'll find that this guide holds up no matter the angle. Another quick tip for the gestures, all I gotta do is just either look at references or, better yet, I look at my own hands and see what gestures I can make. Never be ashamed to use references on your drawing, okay guys? Okay, let's really get into it. This is a very difficult angle for me because a lot of the details here are not even seen because of the angle, right? The perspective blocks a lot of the details. So it's a bit difficult, but if you just follow this rule, you'll find that you'll be able to pull this off. For me, I use my own hand as reference, constantly looking at it and seeing what happens if the angle is that way. It's also a good note that the way you draw everything here is a little bit different since now you're working on a 3D space. The way this works is instead of drawing your fingers like this in a 2D space, you now have to account for the 3D space. So instead of doing this, just draw some cylinders like this. For the actual construction of the hands, the 3 stages here, I just bevel them so that they look 3D. And also, now that we've drawn this on 3D, remember that the thumb is actually on a slight angle like this. And for the hand construction, when the hand is actually looking directly at you, you need to be able to think of it as if it's in perspective. Now, what is perspective? This is just going to be a quick rundown on how to use perspective with the hands. Let's just start with a 1-point perspective here, where the vanishing point is in the center. All you got to know for now is everything leads towards the vanishing point, and the closer it is to the vanishing point, the smaller the object becomes. So these buildings, for example, are small towards the vanishing point and really big the further it is away from it. So the same fundamental apply when you're drawing the fingers here. Notice that the starting point of the cylinder is actually smaller than the end point of it. And that's because we're using the same principle as the vanishing point. This is going to be in perspective. Remember that. So when you draw it in an extreme perspective like this, where the camera is looking directly at the fingers, a lot of the cylinder will not show because of the distortion of the angle here. So I would just draw it like this. So the starting point of the finger here is drawn smaller because it's further away from the camera or closer to the vanishing point. And the end point of the finger is drawn really big here because again, it's further away from the vanishing point or closer to the camera. Let's see that one more time in action. So because the angle of the finger is looking directly at the camera, the cylinders will just look like circles here. So what's next? Next is we are going to make the hand interact with an object. Here, the same principles apply, just account for the object the hand is interacting with. And if you really want to be hardcore, try drawing both hands interacting with an object. And don't get me started with hands interacting with another hand. But really, all you gotta do is practice to get to that level. I know I need to practice a lot more with myself too, and this exercise has been a great help since I've been drawing a lot of hands. And yes, some of these have references that I took from Pinterest. In the intro, I showed you a few paintings of mine where I hide the hand behind the characters or out of bounds. To make up for that, I'm going to make a painting where we showcase the hand front and center. So on this painting, I wanted the hands to be part of her expression because hands have their own characteristics and they can also express almost as much as the face. Well, almost. This is Yachio from Cosmic Princess Kaguya. I actually found this character on Pinterest when I was just browsing what I wanted to draw one day, and I absolutely love her character design here. I have a thing for kimonos, you know. But I didn't know who she was. I did a bit of research and found that she was from a Netflix show. So I watched that show before I finished the drawing just to get a feel of her character first. And I loved it. The character designs as well as the interplay between characters were top tier. If you're an aspiring mangaka and if you want to write interplay between characters and how they interact with each other as well as their world, this movie is something that you should study. It's a good excuse to watch a movie, lay back and relax for a bit. And that's it for me. I originally wanted this video to be at least 3 or 4 minutes long. It was supposed to be just a quick tip, but instead it evolved to something that's more in-depth. I wanted to make a video that was a bit more definitive for you guys. And just a quick plug before I go, my manga is now available to read on Shueisha's Manga Plus. That will be in the description down below. And like always, like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and bye-bye you!